Our favorite crypto XLM is hovering right around that 7.5 cent mark. This video is going to give us some insight on whether we can expect Stellar to go down to 5 or to rally on up to 10. So, which is more likely? Welcome new viewers and old friends, and thank you everyone for all the support that the channel has had in the year of 2022. It has been amazing. Bitcoin sitting at 16,784, ETH sitting at 1212. Both of the big ones right now have been moving fairly sideways during this holiday, as low volume has been the reason for that. XRP is up 3% last 24 hours, just under 37 cents. XLM right now sitting right around that 7.5 cent mark, down 0.4 in the last 24 hours. Here's the chart of XLM. We're going to keep referencing this, but let's get into the news. XRP chart exhibits sell signal as Ripple versus SEC lawsuit heats up. All right, let's go. 5 cents, 10 cents. All right, obviously, if XRP wins, that's going to help out XLM as well as the rest of crypto. So that's one thing that we have in our back pocket is the good that could get us to 10 cents. Now, if XRP settles, right, Ripple Labs settles, here's the problem. That would leave open the rest of crypto, including XLM, to be over-regulated by the likes of Gary Gensler, the SEC, CFTC, as well as state regulators out there. The reason I bring up state regulators is because Nexo said, hey, we're leaving the United States because federal and state regulators can't even get on the same page. So how do we run a business here? Now, if they lose the case, that's obviously more pressure towards that 5 cent mark. So the SEC XRP Ripple Labs case is a huge factor right now, determining if Stellar is going to propel up to 10 or drop back down to 5. What else do we have? Oh my gosh. Governments and paper money have failed, not gold. Here's what was said. You're trapped in a bubble. Gold hasn't consistently failed as money for thousands of years. It has consistently succeeded. It's governments and paper money that have failed, not gold. Okay, so we're talking about inflation, stuff like that. So as inflation just gets worse, right, it drains money out of the system. Why? Because the Fed has to jack up rates. They have to jack up rates to get things down, and we're going to get into that. That action right there is heavy pressure to the downside for all of cryptos. Bitcoin miner Argo blockchain suspends trading on NASDAQ. All right, there's a whole environment around Bitcoin. You're like, well, Klaus, what does Bitcoin have to do with the price of XLM? Bitcoin is so big that it can pull the rest of the market with it. And the problem you're seeing right now is that miners cannot make money. If miners can't make money, they can't pay back their loans to people like Vald and Nexo. I did a story about them. I'll have it linked at the end so you can see how messed up that situation is. But if they can't pay their loans back, you're going to then see more liquidations. When you see liquidations, you see pressure on the entire crypto market. Argo has a big announcement coming up. A lot of us are thinking they are done. And that's why now you can't trade them on the NASDAQ. So we've got some macros around the Bitcoin environment, which again, it's big enough to bring down the whole market. Now, if we start seeing a positive price increase in Bitcoin, right, where we're getting above that 22, 23, 25,000, miners are going to start being able to pay back those loans, which will help that segment of the crypto economy. And right now, there isn't enough separation between your XLM, XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all that, right? They all kind of flow together. We haven't seen that market separation that we've been looking for. What else do we have? GXLM, Grayscale, Stellar, Lumens Trust. Now, this product here was meant to be a safer alternative to get into XLM, right? You still want to get into XLM, but you want the safety that's built into, yes, the trading systems here. You can see volume here over the last several months has just been down. In fact, the price itself has been down. Now, what I want to show you is this right here, this little movement right here in December. You can see that there was heavy pressure after the FTX, and after FTX, boom, went right into December. So you have situations like FTX, Luna, all that kind of stuff, Celsius, bringing the markets on down. We know there's going to be more. Some of us out there are thinking you've got Binance being one of them. You've got Justin Sun, Tron TRX action we're all worried about, USDT. So we have a lot of factors that are hanging over the crypto market, putting more negative price action, right? Giving us a better chance to get XLM back down to that 5 cent mark. Now, when I look at the trust and stuff like this, I want you to think about this. And you know what? Let's do a real quick comparison. Let's compare this to the native asset XLM. And I want to show you something, okay? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to put XLM up in blue. Got it up on the screen. You could see, and let's switch this out from bars. Let's make this an area chart just so you can see. You can see that the actual safer asset, right, which is Grayscale, Stellar, Lumens Trust, is actually trading at a heavier loss than what actual XLM is. That's actually a good thing. That tells us that investors don't want to deal with this crap. They would rather just get into the native asset. Now, going forward, that's great news for XLM. Why? Because then once we get the regs, once we get institutional money in, boom, that's where the action will happen. It's not going to go into XLM, Grayscale Trust. No, it's going to go into native token. You can see the riskier native token is doing better. That's the other thing we got to talk about, regulations. The longer we have delay-wise in regulations, the more you're going to see price drop back down here to the 5 cents. The more you see scammers and all that stuff happen, that's negative pressure on the market. Now, once we get regulations, and we're all hoping that this is going to happen soon, but once the regulators start putting regulations in which give big money more protection for their money, right? Maybe something similar to FDIC insurance action. Ooh, that would be nice, everyone. That could easily propel the market on back up because big money could come in and buy super cheap and drive the price on up. So regs are kind of like that 50-50. We just need them to happen sooner rather than later. What do I got on the screen? Well, as always, any article you see in this video will be linked in the description below. I've got the Fed's projection notes. Okay. What's interesting about this is the Fed is telling us in GDP is going to suck, okay? GDP should be right around that 2% growth year over year, okay? What we're seeing here is that they are expecting 2023 to be soft and most of 2024 to be soft in terms of GDP. Now, GDP is important because remember, crypto is a growth item, okay? Crypto booms when it's in a growth phase, right? When money starts flowing into the market, kind of like what we saw when the Fed had rates really, really low. And remember, it's not just the US Fed, but central banks all across the globe take cues from the Fed. So when the Fed releases these sheets, these are heavily applicable to the rest of the world. The other issue we have though, okay, on the negative side, right, pushing XLM back down to 5 cents is this, the inflation numbers. All right, target inflation is 2%. The problem is we ain't even close. We're at like 7.1 right now. We need inflation to come down quite a bit. Now, again, I've got 2023 right here. You can see 2023, we're going to be way higher than where we should be on inflation. What does that mean? That means you're going to see rates keep going up. As rates go up, that means money becomes more expensive. The cost of doing business becomes more because business loans are more. Now, retail money is what's propping up the crypto market right now, again, because of the lack of regs we talked about earlier. Retail money is going to be harder and harder to come by. Why? Because think, home loans are more expensive, car loans are more expensive, home equity lines of credit, credit card loans, all that stuff is tied into all the Fed's rates. So if the Fed is saying, hey, inflation is going to be higher than what we need in 2023, expect 2023 to have continuously raising of rates, which makes money more expensive, which crypto being a very risky growth sector, no, you need cheaper money to make crypto boom. So when we look at 5 cents or 10 cents, there's obviously more factors pushing us down to that 5 cent likeliness. But a couple big things could totally change all that and propel us to 10 cents and even beyond, right? If we get good news with the Ripple Labs XRP versus SEC case, that could definitely rally the market. If all of a sudden we start seeing more governments come out with regulations for crypto, that would allow institutional and big money venture capitalists to get back in as well, which would prop crypto back up. Now, granted, we do have some global macro events like inflation. We've got the Ukraine situation, which is just a big money pit, let's be honest here. And we've got other macros around the world, right? Supply chain issues that we're still trying to work through. 2023 is going to be a pretty rough one. There's definitely going to be more negative factors which drive the likeliness of pushing it back down to 5 cents. But like I said, you start getting governments out there putting regulations for crypto, and if we get some positive news with Ripple Labs versus the SEC, that could definitely drive the price on up. Now, during this video, I mentioned that there were several things that, I did videos on that you might be interested in. I'm going to have them looped all around here. Check them out so you can get further information on what's happening to the crypto world. Thank you again, everyone, for the support of the channel. I greatly appreciate it. As more news breaks, I'll be sure to share it with you. Until then, you cool cats, have a great rest of your day.